Research with human subjects typically involves a large number of sample sizes. After your experimental design and data collection, the outcome of your research would have a considerable amount of information to work with. It is essential to know how to handle this information.
This is commonly done by statistical analysis. Statistics is the branch of science that deals with the collection, organization, analysis, and inferences of the samples to the whole population. Statistical data analysis provides a way of drawing inductive inferences from data and distinguishing the signal, the phenomenon of interest, from the noise, statistical fluctuations, present in the information.
Statistical data analysis generally involves some form of statistical tools. Some researchers might fear statistics, believing to be a world of complex math numbers and formulae. Do not worry about this. In reality, some statistical methods are very straightforward, and the use of software packages to perform statistical data analysis simplifies the process. One of these software packages for statistical data analysis is SPSS, administered by IBM. The software name stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. SPSS, the world's leading statistical software, is designed to solve business and research problems by means of hypothesis testing and predictive analytics.
SPSS is widely known and used in many different disciplines. In this video, the basic functions for understanding SPSS are presented for creating a statistic file. Organizations and research community use SPSS to understand data, analyze trends, forecast and validate assumptions, and drive accurate conclusions. This software is flexible and scalable and easy to use, which makes SPSS suitable for users with all skill levels. It helps you and your organization or academic institution find new opportunities, improve efficiency, and minimize risk.
But how does SPSS work? SPSS can open several file formats that are commonly used for structured data, including Excel spreadsheets, plain text files, relational databases, Stata, and SAS. Let's explore the functions of the software.
When opening SPSS, you can see three main windows: Data Editor, Output Viewer, and Syntax Editor. The Data Editor is the default window displaying the content of any open data files. It provides drop-down menus that allow modifying and analyzing the data. The data are displayed in a spreadsheet format, where columns represent variables and rows represent cases. The spreadsheet format includes two tabs at the bottom labeled Data View and Variable View.
Variable view. What is the variable view? Take variable as a quantity of an element which can be changed and measured, such as height, weight, or gender. The variable view allows the user to adjust the variables according to the following properties. Name. The newest version of SPSS has a limit of 64 characters for the name. You may choose a short name and leave the long descriptions for the label column. Each variable name must be unique and cannot contain spaces. Role. A variable can be independent, dependent, or both. Some options in SPSS allow the user to pre-select variables for a particular analysis based on their defined roles.
Type. Here you can see 8 different data types. 1. Width indicates the number of characters available for the variable values.
2. Decimals allows control of the number of digits after the decimal place.
3. Label provides a more extensive description of the variable.
4. Values allows the user to provide a numeric key to represent variables, for example, 0 for female and 1 for male.
5. Missing value marks data that are excluded from the analysis.
6. Columns indicates the total number of columns for a variable.
7. Align allows the alignment of the variable.
8. Measure indicates the level of measurement of the variable, whether nominal, ordinal, or scale. Data View. Many of the features present in Data View are similar to the features that are found in spreadsheet applications, such as Excel, Stata, and SAS. There are, however, several important distinctions that should be considered. Rows are cases or observations, while columns are variables or characteristics that are being measured.
The cell is where the case and the variable intersect. Highlights are very important. Cells contain only data values and cannot contain formulas. The data file is rectangular, and its size is determined by the number of cases and variables. For numeric variables, blank cells are converted to the system missing value. For string variables, a blank is considered a valid value.
Data creation. For creating a new workspace, click File, New, Data to open a blank spreadsheet.
Importing data from an Excel file. SPSS provides the user with versatile tools to simplify data analysis. One of these tools is the import option from an Excel file. When importing data from an Excel spreadsheet into SPSS, you need to make sure that the data is formatted according to the following criteria. The spreadsheet should have a single row of variable names across the top of the spreadsheet in the first row.
The variable names should include ordinary letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, gender, stud_motive, and not include special characters. For example, student motivation would not be a valid variable name because it contains a space.
The data should be placed beneath the respective title in the spreadsheet. Any information that is not part of the main body of the data must be removed. For example, extra text, labels, graphs, pivot tables, and others.
Missing values for string or numeric variables have blank, empty cells or an appropriate predetermined missing value code, such as -999. Once the data in the Excel file is formatted properly, it can be imported into SPSS by clicking File, Open, Data. The Open Data window pops up.
In the Type of Files list, select Excel format to specify the data file. If the format is not specified, it will not appear. The variable names are commonly in the first row. Put a check mark in the box beside Read variable names from the first row of data. SPSS allows you to specify the range of rows or columns to import. It is recommended to keep the default values unless there is a reason for altering it. The maximum width for string columns option determines how wide a string variable can be. In this case, it is strongly advised to keep the default value unless there is a reason for altering it. After verifying the information, click OK.
Let's discuss the fundamentals of SPSS when working with variables. The variable could be modified from numeric to string, merged with other categories, or summed up with the existing ones. Transformations applied to individual variables, particularly recoding and computing of new variables, are also parts of modification processes that can be applied to manipulate the data.
Let's describe what a compute variable means in SPSS. This concept allows us to create new variables from existing variables. Sometimes new variables need to be computed based on existing information. For example, converting units from feet to meters, using a subject's height and weight to compute their body mass index, or computing a subscale score from items on a survey.
For computing a new variable, click on Transform, and then Compute Variable. The Compute Variable window will open, and several available options appear. Here, some of these options are presented. The target variable would be the name of the new variable that will be created during the computation. The left column lists all the variables in the dataset. This menu can be used to add variables to a computation process.
The numeric expression is used to specify computing a new variable. Keep in mind that SPSS is not case-sensitive with respect to variables' names, and most importantly, does not accept period at the end of the expression.
The center of the window includes a collection of arithmetic operators, Boolean operators, and numeric characters, allowing new variables to be defined. The if option allows us to specify the conditions under which our computation would be applied.
The function group contains standard functions that may be used for calculating values for new variables, such as mean, logarithm, and conversions, among others. To find a specific function, simply click one of the function groups to see the function of interest.
Recoding variables. SPSS can also transform a variable by grouping its categories or values together. For example, we may want to change a continuous variable into a categorical variable, or merge the categories of a nominal variable. This type of transformation is called recoding. There are two basic options for recoding variables: recode into different variables and recode into same variables. When recoding into different variables, SPSS creates a new variable without modifying the original variable, while recode into same variables will permanently overwrite the original.
To recode into different variables, click Transform, Recode into different variables. As you can see, different options are displayed in the new window. The input variable presents the variables that have been selected to recode, as well as the name that the new variables would have after the recode. On the output variable, the name and the label for the recoded variables will be defined by typing them in the text fields. By clicking the old and new values, different recoding options would be presented. Finally, the if option provides the conditions under which the selected recode would be applied.
To recode into the same variable, simply click Transform and then Recode into Same Variables. This works in the same way as the Recode into Different Variables, except that any changes made will permanently alter the original variable. This means that the original values will be replaced by the recoded values.
Grouping or splitting data. When analyzing data, it is useful to temporarily group or split the data in order to compare results across different subsets, especially when we want to compare frequency distributions or descriptive statistics with respect to the categories of some variable. To split the dataset, click Data and then Split File.
Two options are provided for splitting data: comparing groups and organizing output by groups. For both splitting methods, there are two considerations to be made. First, the splitting variables should be nominal or ordinal. Second, in order to split the file, SPSS requires that the data be sorted with respect to the splitting variable.
Turning off split file. When the split file is no longer needed, SPSS allows to turn the split file off through the same window used to turn it on. To do this, click Data and then Split File. Click Analyze All Cases without creating groups, then click OK. Now look again at your data. You can see that the data is no longer categorized by groups. Once the data is corrected, the normal analysis can be run again.
Through this video, the basic information regarding the use of SPSS was presented. As previously mentioned, the SPSS software is designed to solve business and research problems by means of hypothesis testing and predictive analytics.
Keep in mind that there are other software packages created for statistical analysis, and you should always choose the one that is most applicable to your dataset. Stay tuned to our future productions regarding more topics around statistical analysis.